This country that we live in is the greatest country to ever exist. It is a melting pot. It is a land of opportunity. People come here for a better life, and they work their asses off, and they get it.
Foreplay presented by Barstool Sports. It's 4th of July week. 4th of July week historically here at Barstool Sports. One of the great weeks that we get. I think ever since I've been an employee at Barstool, we have gotten pretty much the entire 4th of July week off. The office is closed. It doesn't really pertain to us as much as it used to because we're not really in the office anymore. We're all over the place. We're traveling. We're doing classics, blah, blah, blah. But it remains 4th of July is on a Thursday. I cannot imagine people are going to be commuting much or listening to a lot of podcasts. I hope that you're not listening to a lot of podcasts. I hope that you're out on a lake. I feel like a lake is a great spot to be on 4th of July. I hope maybe you're in a backyard doing a barbecue. You are near a large body of water that will be shooting off fireworks in a safe manner. But regardless, hopefully you're not listening to a podcast on July 4th because we're not going to have a new podcast on July 4th. It's the only show that people are getting this week. We got myself, Frankie, Dan, Trent's traveling, and he's going to join later in the show. But happy 4th of July, everyone.
It's a great time. 4th of July, it's freedom, it's beers, it's barbecuing, it's getting in arguments with your friends in the grass. You always have grass on your feet. It's a very specific feeling and it's a very specific smell. And I love it. I mean, I'm not the biggest outdoorsman, but I get up for 4th of July. Like I definitely like the winter. I like being able to wear hoodies and I like to be wearing, sweatpants and watching hockey. But 4th of July, I mean, if you're not getting up for 4th of July, you're un-American.
Yeah, cut off sleeves. I feel like your arms are showing a little bit more. People got backwards hats on. There's a lot of sunglasses.
Playing beer dye.
Beer dye is like the game for us. Beer dye on 4th of July.
Yeah, I feel cornhole's massive. Beer dye is such a good game. That was one of our big college games. I always wish like we would play but mostly the hockey guys that I always would kind of find myself around and play. The goalies would be unbelievable beer dye players. The rest of us would be like not that great, just hockey, like motor skills, catching, not necessarily our strong suit when it comes to hockey players. So goalies would always just fucking dust us in beer dye.
Yeah, it's a great game if you're in like a big lawn. And I'm actually going back to New York for the first time since I left. I've had PTSD from New York. I haven't been ready to come back. I'm finally ready to go back, and we're all staying at my buddy's house. So it's gonna be a reunion.
The weather's perfect right now. It's definitely a little hot, but it is like golf courses are so pure in New York right now. There's really, I mean, when this fescue starts to get golden out here, like July golf on Long Island is a special place. It really is. No matter what club you go to, or even a public track, no matter what, you can play Eisenhower White right now. The fescue's up to your chin. It's golden brown. It's waving in the wind. Every single green is pure right now. It's really, really great. It's just a great time to be a golfer on Long Island.
I haven't played a fescue-laced golf course in a long time. I've seen a lot of desert, just an unbelievable amount of desert. Pine trees of North Carolina. I've seen a ton of that. Waste area, wiregrass. I really haven't seen
Look at this track I played. This place like Huntington Crescent today. Just nice green fairways with luscious fescue lining the fairways.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that you can go to Luke Combs' 2-day pass, New Jersey, MetLife, phenomenal stadium, $210 for a 2-day pass to Luke Combs. Luke Combs is huge right now.
That's a steal. He is huge. He's selling out, arenas, football stadiums, and you can go see him. He's got great music. Just put out a new album, I'm pretty sure. I saw a couple of singles from that. He's great. Just go to an event. Go to a Luke Combs concert and have the time of your life.
I'm looking July 19th. If you just want to go do one day, $144 for Luke Combs. I'm looking on July 27th, Yankee Stadium. We got Man City versus AC Milan. Dan, that's right up your alley.
Right up my street. Can't wait to watch.
I'm looking at the United States women's national team, soccer. Again, right up our alley. Red Bull Arena playing against Mexico, which is massive rivalry. $78. That's July 13th. So all kinds of good choices. We're talking about Game Time. That is the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and the easy way to buy tickets. And we're talking sports, music, comedy, theater events, New York theater, all kinds of good stuff. They got flash deals if you're looking for discounts, zone deals when you're feeling pretty flexible. Game Time is the best place for last minute seats with up to 60% off your favorite events. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code FORE, F-O-R-E, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
I'm just torching people in matches right now because I can't miss the golf ball. And it feels so good. Yeah, I'll look for that in the fescue. We'll take a little look over there. I'm dead center, 295 off the fucking tee. It's just, things are good in the golf game right now. Like I'm feeling really, really good. I'm loving the game. I'm loving golf courses. I'm talking about architecture. I'm talking to the head pros. I'm getting real nerdy with it.
I was going to say, you were talking about
like when you're getting into architecture and Frankie's going over to the pro, being like, these Biarritzes you guys got.
That's what I'm saying. The show yesterday, or the last week's show, I guess, so it's a little confused in my head. But you were running through all the different template holes on the range at the creek.
CV McDonald
nailed them,
dude. It's crazy. I'm asking guys.
Frankie Johnson over here.
I'm asking guys where like the best spot to leave balls on the green are, and I'm hitting. It's crazy. I'm missing shots, and I'm missing shots because I'm getting too cute with them. Like today, I had like a 125 shot. It was 135, 125 with the slope, a little downhill, and I took a little off a pitching wedge, as if like I was trying to hit a 128. And I just took a little too much off and it went like 122 and hit the false front. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how am I not hitting the middle of that green with just a full pitching wedge? Like, am I really getting that cocky? But I end up making it up and down for 4. And I'm looking around like, this game is easy right now. This game to me is easy. And then on the drive home, I'm thinking, how do I take that next step? Because I'm getting a little too comfortable now. Like right now I'm in a lull where like I'm shooting 78, 77, 79.
The next step is 72? Chasing scratch, dude. Like, what's your index right now?
Oh, I was a 4-1 going into today. I shot a 76 from the back. So it's like, I'm feeling it right now. So I have to be a 3-8 now.
I love that when Frankie's shooting 87, he's like, any golf course that doesn't have the ocean is trash. It's like this architecture. What a bunch of fucking dweebs on the internet. And now he's shooting 76 and he's like, these Redans, if you land it in the right spot, you can really use the slope to your advantage.
Yeah, brings to mind number 11 at North Barrack. Yeah. Let's see similarities.
I mean, I still am a views guy over everything. Views over everything for sure. But like once you start hitting it in the spots, like there is that feeling when a caddy or someone tells you like, hey, hit it here and just trust me, and you do it. That's a good feeling. It really
definitely
is.
And conversely, man, when you're playing like shit and you play a really cool course and people are like, what'd you think of the course? You're like, well, I mean, I get that par 4 is tricky and it's designed for you to hit it up the left side. And if you don't, it's a little bit tougher an angle. It's like, no, I'm hitting it. I look for my ball for 7 minutes. I try to chip it out and then I slap it up there. I chip it on and I try to 2-putt and get out of there with like a double. Like I can't tell you much about the golf course. I don't know how it played. That
happened to me today. There was a beautiful hole and I topped one off the tee and we all looked at each other. It was like, what just happened? I hit it 40 yards. My next shot, I laced a 5-iron down the fairway and everyone loved the hole because if you hit the speed slot, you get all the way down. You have a nice 40-yard chip. So I ended up doing that. My second shot chipped up to like a foot and made a 4. And I was like, great hole. I mean, I didn't play it the way you guys wanted me to, but great hole. Loved everything about it. No pictures on the scorecard. I mean, it's really hard. We've talked about that for a long time, that it's really hard to take your personal experience away from how you enjoy a golf course for the first time. Like I took a couple of my buddies, we played out at the creek and like a couple of them like didn't play great. And they're like, like kind of a gimmick, like a couple of holes are a little gimmicky. And I'm like, you guys just like didn't play great. Like if you would have shot 75, it's the greatest golf course on Long Island. And like, it really is. It's probably the most difficult thing that you can do as a golfer, to separate your personal experience from the actual experience of the golf course.
Give me your top 5 on Long Island that you've played. That was an interesting thought experiment.
It's always tricky because he's so embedded in Long Island that if he leaves somewhere out, that he can play a lot.
Political, yeah.
So that has to factor in. It's almost worse.
I mean, Shinnecock's got to be number 1.
Have you played Friar's Head?
I haven't played Friar's Head.
Shinnecock, I would always say, and I think I've said this forever, is I think like the best golf course I've ever played. I don't know
So
that
good.
it's,
That
like, my
first tee,
favorite
like just
necessarily,
lacing a
but
little.
oh,
For me, lacing a little draw on the first tee and like having a nice like 8 or 9 iron into that
It's
first.
the easiest
green
shot
is-
of the whole day.
It's the easiest shot of the
Right.
whole day.
I
Par
think
threes
too,
are
like,
phenomenal.
if I had to host a tournament to truly decide who's the best player, I think that would be the best spot to do it at. Of course, every hole goes in a different direction. There's no real tricks about it. You got to be fucking on. The tee shots are difficult. All the pitches around the greens are difficult. You got to really think your way through it. You can't just go like mindlessly into any shot. I think Shinnecock is probably up there for me. Like,
I haven't played
anywhere.
I haven't played Friars, which I've heard is incredible, but I would go Bethpage too. Hard to find a better golf course than Bethpage. Bethpage Black is so perfectly built. It's a public track. It's $80 to play. It's a major championship venue. They're having the fucking Ryder Cup there next year. That is such a good golf course. I got married there. Everything about it is just a special place. 3, I'd say, is Fishers, and now it's starting like, I mean, this
Is that Long
just sort of-
Island?
yeah, it's considered a Long Island golf
could
course.
take,
It's off
like-
Long Island, in
Yeah.
between Long Island and Connecticut. I don't know exactly what its like zip code is. I would assume it's a Long Island course, though.
I think you can count it. You can definitely. A lot of
Yeah,
people get there
it's
from
just- this is starting
Connecticut,
to
but
get,
like, what's the difference?
I never thought I'd be able to play any of these golf courses, to be honest, and this has been quite the run over the last couple of years. So I've never played national, but we did behind the greens out there, and I've heard like pound for pound, that's just as good as any of the courses out there on that, in that Shinnecock, Sabonic area. I've heard national is phenomenal. They had a USAM there back in the day. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
Fitzy played the Walker Cup there.
the Walker Cup. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's what they
Fitzy
had.
played the Walker Cup there. It is one of the most fun golf. Like I've only played each of them once. I played Shinnecock once and I played National once, and it was back-to-back days. I played Shinnecock. Actually, kind of my first exposure to Dave Portnoy was that U.S. Open media day at Shinnecock.
Shout out to Za.
Were you guys there?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah, where he won the U.S. Open, and I remember it took like 7. He was doing the mulligan, so I remember that I played from like as far back as they would let us. It was blowing like 30. The course was in the U.S. Open conditions. It
By
was
the way,
so fucking hard.
We waited on the group in front of us on every single shot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we really
so-
didn't hold it up.
Oh,
Yeah,
not
so
at
it wasn't
all.
you guys. Yeah,
No. We were like, Dave was actually rattled because he had an allotted time. It was like 5 hours and 15 minutes to finish. And he was waiting on the group in front because he was the only one hitting. And any normal golfer can go through their pre-shot routine and hit the ball like twice as fast as it takes, like twice as long as it takes Dave to hit 5 shots. Like he just swings. He doesn't give a fuck. So it's like,
And we had Za, who is dumb midget Zimbo. He's from Zimbabwe. And I don't know what in his Twitter name it says midget, but I think it's little person is the correct terminology. We had him out there, and he saw Nick Price, who's also from Zimbabwe.
Oh, so he's
which
probably
is
stoked.
Za. Like we brought him out there, and it was like, yeah, you're gonna like caddy and pick up balls. He's like, I don't know why I'm coming to Shinnecock. And then he saw like his legitimate sports idol and icon, like the Zimbabwean. Like, people couldn't believe it. He is from Zimbabwe, right? Nick
Yeah,
Price?
he is.
And
He is.
boy,
That is
Fucking,
correct.
Like what? Like Za looked at me and goes, "Is that Nick Price?" I was just like, "I think so." He
And
couldn't
boy.
believe it. It'd be like me going to fucking and like Zimbabwe and seeing Derek Jeter. So like, what the fuck is happening?
and that Nick Price situation saved the USGA so much on the PR front because they were getting shit from all the other media about how we're out there making fun of Za. And they were able to respond and be like, what do you mean making fun of? This guy had the best day of his life. He met his like childhood golf hero.
We had Glenny Balls out there. Oh, we did. I think we brought Glenny Balls out to the Pebble Beach one. It was chaos, but yeah. I mean, once you get to like 4 and 5, I think it's so hard. There's so many golf courses that you can handpick from. Like I haven't played Maidstone. There's a bunch of places out there out east. Obviously, Piping Rock, the Creek, Garden City, Cherry
City.
Valley. Garden City
Yeah.
is like, yeah. I used to caddy there. I think it's a little overrated. It's. I mean the architecture hardos love to talk about Garden City, and I think
I
it's
heard
a little bit of an
I've
overrated
even
track.
heard Southampton Golf Club or Country Club, whichever it
Southampton.
is supposed to be phenomenal.
Yeah, that's right. That's right next to all the other ones. Yeah,
You know what I
Friar
would
Set
put
has
four?
this 4
You know what
hole
number
spot-
4 is?
What?
The Glen Oaks is number 4.
Just because the conditioning there is hard to beat.
Oaks is
I think
great.
I think Glen Oaks might be as in condition as Augusta National. I don't know how much more in condition a golf course can get. Like what
Yeah.
what else does it do? I don't know. It's perfect. It's quite literally
Oaks
a
is
perfect golf course.
perfect, dude. It is so fun to play that
You got
course.
the yellow flags,
chipping
every
and putting
single
around those greens. It's perfect. It rolls so good. It looks money. The rough is like legit. If you miss fairways, that's a great
The
spot.
DJ shot over the pond on 18 is like historic at this point. DJ takes it over the water. Jordan Spieth lays it out right. He beats him on 18. It's just,
Dude,
it's a great track.
I remember Gil Hance on this show like 5 years ago had a great line where he was like, we could design the best golf course in the world. And if you go up to it as a normal golfer and it's not in good shape, you don't really give a shit. And if we could design the worst golf course in the world, if you go up and the tee boxes are green and perfectly flat and the greens are in amazing shape, they're running at a 13, you'll walk off and be like, that was awesome. Glen Oaks is I think it's a fantastic layout. It's not like a bad layout. But the kind of conditioning that place is in, I think that's the first course I ever really played in like 2017 or something with Eric and Dave and those guys, where like a bunch of the tee boxes and the different greens were all mowed into each other. There's like shared fairways that are mowed together with rough like around both holes, but the fairways are shared. I'd never seen that before. The bunkers are cut that perfect sharpness where they cut like into the fairway and into the greens. Oh, that
he has an unlimited
really
budget, so he gets to do whatever the hell he wants. He's juicing
yeah.
it with God
Didn't
knows
they
what.
Don't they pay him like? Did he used to work at Augusta or something, or they paid him like some
He did
ridiculous?
a couple of years at Augusta, and then he was at Bethpage. Craig Courier is the guy. He's a legend. Like
I will say,
you say Craig at Glen Oaks, and everyone kind of whoa. That guy's a legend.
Friar's Head has probably the best 4-hole stretch that I've ever played. It's like 13, 14, 15, 16, or maybe 14, 15, 16, 17. It goes like on a dune, and you take a bridge across a sand dune, and it's just an unbelievable experience. I love that
I
place.
had my career low was at Friar's Head.
Hey.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
70? 69?
No. 72.
72.
I had shot like 73 a few times at that point. This is like 5 years ago, but we come to the 18th hole, which is at Dog Leg Left, Dan, you know,
18's
with like
a little
trees,
funky.
little funky. And I've been playing extremely well. And I was at even par, whatever gets you to 72. It might be a par 71. So whatever it was, but I'm at like, if I make par, I shoot my career low. I hook one up into the trees, and the trees, it's like not trees where there's like spots to hit in between them. It's like gunk. It's like forest up in the crap. So I hit a provisional. I hit it 100 yards out to the right. I'm like, oh my God, I'm melting down.
You shoot 80.
Yeah, right. I'm like, yeah, exactly. We get up there. My original tee shot's in the left side of the fairway. It had like, because it's really sloped up there, it had gone up into the trees. We didn't see it. Clearly, barely kicked out, dribbled all the way down on the other side of this little like knob. I hit a 7-iron to 25 feet, 2-putted, and shot 72. So my career low's there. I love that place. It's a great spot.
And an elite shower. Just an absolutely elite shower game over there.
Are you hitting the links this weekend? The professionals definitely are. This weekend, we've got the John Deere Classic right in Trent's wheelhouse, right in Trent's home area, his home region. There's Barstool Classic that's going, and John Deere Classic, you can get in on the action. We did in terms of the closest to the pin, we guessed a few things because we like to have a little bit of skin in the game. You can really have skin in the game when it comes to DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yeah, this is a good week. I think I'm gonna look at who's playing, who's gonna win. JT Poston, I know, is back there. We talk about Spieth on this show, being the John Deere. He'll probably be the favorite, I would imagine, although Cantley's playing in it too. So they'll both be up there. I got to pick a horse. Maybe I'll pick a couple. I wonder if Sepp's playing it again. He won it last year. A lot of good bets, and I'll be putting some money down on the John Deere Classic for sure.
It's very, very easy with the DK Sportsbook for first timers to get started. Just try betting on something simple. You could pick a golfer to win. You could pick somebody top 20. You could pick somebody to make the cut, miss the cut. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Just select your team, place your first bet. It is that simple. And if you're new to DraftKings, you have to check this out because new customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. I saw, again, if you're tracking a lot of what's going on in the wagering world, Dave, who's been red hot on futures this year, last week, he chose the Phillies, I believe, to win the World Series. That's his pick. That's his future. He's doing well. He's having a ride. He's enjoying himself. That could be you as well. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the code FORE. That's code FORE for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
We went to lunch the other day, and it was at Eisenhower, and they have this great spot. It used to be called the Carlton, and now it's called oh my god, I'm gonna forget the name of it. I was just there. Anyway, the Union is called. It's called the Union. It's a great little lunch spot, and it's right in the middle of Eisenhower. And Eisenhower has blue, the white, and the red, and it's just public track, as public as it gets. They actually hosted the Eisenhower Red hosted like the 1926 PGA Championship, which is like they still have the sign up when you fucking go there to get your tea time. But it really brought me back. Like we were sitting there having lunch, and we've been very fortunate to be able to play some of the best golf in the world, and it's like a pinch me moment every single time you step up to one of these amazing tees. Because growing up on Long Island, I only played Eisenhower. I only played Bethpage. I played high school golf where like maybe once in a while you got out to the creek or Piping Rock because you played like the rich town, like Locust Valley, or one of those towns that had like their country club. Their home course was a country club. And then now we like today played Huntington Crescent, which has like amazing history. Like on the card, it says like 1884. And you're like, I didn't even know this place existed. And it's this great, amazing, expansive location on Long Island, 20 minutes from my house. Where the hell has this place been my whole life? And so we went and had lunch the other day, and it was right next to where I learned how to play golf. I'm talking the same putting green that my dad would take me to every single day during the summer when we would just play putting games where we would drop one ball on the green and we would just play basically now what like the Thistle do and all of these and like the all these putting courses that all these resorts have, where you just play 18 holes of like a match and you would just putt, and could you go lower than your dad? And it was like, I was legitimately getting emotional looking at all these people teeing off. Like there was a little kid out there just chipping and putting, and I was like, that was quite literally me. And now I'm talking about playing at Fisher's Island and all these amazing places. Like this game, it gives you so much if you're like a part of it, right? Like we're a part of this game in some dumb way, and you get to experience all these amazing things. It took me back and I want to go back and play it. Like I haven't played Eisenhower in forever, probably since before COVID. But yeah, it just was such a crazy, like I felt like I was outside of my body looking at something. Like I was sitting there eating fucking a grilled chicken sandwich, and I'm just staring at these people tee off on one of blue. Like, wow, man, that was only 10 years ago. I was playing like, what was it? 12 years ago, I was playing like high school golf there. It's amazing. Yep. It's amazing.
It is funny to come like that far and think like, for me, I get like whenever we go back to St. Louis, ironically enough, the place that I've probably played the least amount of like the top courses at country clubs is St. Louis, because when I grew up playing, like we didn't have any of that. We didn't have any access. We just went and played a public course down the street. We played a place, Dardine Prairie, and then a bunch of my boys, after, you know, we all got jobs, graduated, I moved away, joined Bogey Hills Country Club, where we do the Barstool Classic. But there are all these places like Old Warson, St. Louis Country Club, which is like I think it's like an old CB McDonald or Seth Rayner that's like iconic. Boone Valley is a place, but like all these top courses, I get invited. You know, we all do get messages, DMs, emails where people like invite me out to play. I always feedback because I say no, because if I'm going home, I usually just want to play with like my buddies at our local course and have fun. That's why I'm going home. But it is funny that like in the Pinehurst area, or in the New York area, or in the Boston area, where I've like lived since we've done a lot of this golf stuff, I've been able to play a lot of the nicer places. And in St. Louis, where I'm from, a lot of the top places like I've never fucking been to. I don't even know what they're like.
I feel like all these cities that have like, if it's the name of the city and then country club, you know that it's like 1905 old money shit. Like New Orleans Country Club, St. Louis Country Club. Like that's like, we got this name before all these other fucking pretenders tried to build a golf course.
That's so true.
It is a CB McDonald St. Louis Country Club, and it's got like, I've read about it. I think like Fried Egg's done a bunch of stuff about it, and they have like they have a road hole. It's got a bunch of like sweet. It's got back-to-back par threes, but like I just don't really know. You know, like I don't know much about it. I haven't been out there, and I think it's one of the hardest ones to get on. So I don't even know about it. It's fucking.
You know where else has
it's like St. Louis Country Club? I don't know shit about it.
Another course that has back-to-back par threes. Alex Bush, you played last week.
Oh yeah,
we did.
9 and 10.
We played at Quaker.
What'd you make?
I don't remember what I made on those holes. I can look at the scorecard somewhere, but I did almost have an ace on number
5.
Is it 5?
That would have been electric.
Yeah. It landed literally inches from the hole. Almost dunked it.
Tell us about your day. I mean, what a day you guys had. How it all came about. You got the whole crew out there.
Yeah, Dan's obviously moved out of the area, so his last year there, he wanted to have us out, which is much appreciated. So Brendan, me,
Very nice.
Rob,
What a
and
move.
Robin? You guys
Jared
call
went
him
out
Robin?
and play. No, Rob and stutter
Robin's
Jared.
Robin's my sister's name. I was like, what?
We played a match, and Jared and I kind of got dusted, to be honest.
So
Rob's a stick.
I was texting Brendan about it because I was like, "Oh, you guys went out to Quaker. That's pretty sick." He was like, "Yeah, Danny got us on," and I was going on and on and on, and I was like, "Well, how'd you guys play?" And he goes, "Rob actually played pretty decent. He was somewhere in the mid to high 80s. Me, Alex, and Jared we weren't too bad. Probably somewhere in the 90s." He said, "But this cracked me up." He goes, "Bush had one blow up hole on like 10 or something like that." And he looks at me and goes, "Rounds chalked. I can't come back from that." As if he was going to fire something decent today. He said that cracked him up so hard. Like, it's already on like the 11th or 12th hole. You guys are not really playing that great. He has one blow up hole and he's like, "Rounds chalked. No coming back."
It is.
I
said I'm a mental midget.
You've
it's
got
over.
You've got the tough scenario of having played golf at a certain level many years ago, and you don't get to play enough, and so in your mind you still should be hitting the shots that you hit when you were 20.
True.
And it's
I played high school golf and I was way better. I was shooting mid 80s, and now I can barely break 90 because I play, 4 rounds, 5 rounds
play
a year.
Golf. You have to be able to hit the shots. You have to be going to driving ranges, and you guys are out there so much with us. Like, the last thing Alex Bush wants to do is probably go to like a driving range in the dead heat and like fucking hit a golf shot right now. Like, they're just in the thick of the golf world, but they're on the other side of the camera, which is obviously insane. But yeah, it's tough. Like, it's tough to go out there and play. Whenever I play with my buddies and they have a bad day, that's how I used to be. When we started this podcast, we would complain about our scores and we would say like, "Fuck, we can't get better." And we would think like we're playing once every couple of like months when I was working in the beginning of Barstool, I played 3 times a year.
So what was your handicap when you were in high school playing high school golf?
My scoring average was like a 39.5.
Okay, so you were good. And then you didn't play at all from like age when you graduated high school until like this took off?
We played very, very, very limited amount of golf. Like, I would get like, Riggs and Francis would go out and play, and we played Bayonne that one time. We played Bethpage that one time. Like, we would just be working in the office.
Bethpage Red. That's the only time I played Bethpage Red. Great course.
Yeah, we'd go out and play like once in a while. It would like Brett Merriman, office manager Brett, would come out with us. So, and I'd play with my dad here and there, but dude, we were in the grinding part of Barstool Sports where it was like there was not a single day to be able to not be in front of a computer, especially for me with Dave. Like, I wasn't spending any time golfing. So I would say from the time I was 22 years old to 26, for 4 straight years, I probably played 3 or 4 times a year, like legitimate tried to play serious rounds of golf. And you kind of lose it. Same thing happened with me in the drums. I kind of lost it where I was playing every single day in middle school, high school, right in my first year of college, just playing the drums every day. That was my hobby. And then you just don't play for 6 or 7 years and you kind of lose the things that you were getting good at, but you pick it back up. Like, if Alex played 4 or 5 rounds in 1 week, he'd be fucking dialed in.
Well, he'll hit a shot every now and then. Like, I'm sure the shot into 5 where it's like, okay, like there, yeah, you know how to do this. It's like Tiger,
It's in there.
You see 1 or 2 shots every round these days where you're like, wow, this guy was pretty good.
Like Harry Potter, part of him is in me.
Yes.
It is the worst thing that you can do is play well once. And Alex Bush played well for a stretch, but to go out there, my dad goes through it now. Like, he never really plays, but he knows we play a ton. So he wants that to be his activity, get him set up with clubs. He goes out and plays like once. He really doesn't want to play after a few holes because he sucks compared to the way that he used to play, even though we don't care. He's like playing fine. And then he literally like gives his clubs away to like one of our buddies afterwards. And he's just like, yeah, it's just not for me.
Let Xander do the golfing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing a video actually that should be coming out pretty soon if this thing's coming out in a week, where I hit every shot and my dad putts for me. And we're going to see how much different our game is, like how much different my scoring would be. He's actually a pretty damn good putter. He doesn't hit the ball very far, but he can get the ball in the hole. So I'll be excited if we can put together a pretty good 18 holes with him. Every time we cross onto the green, he takes over. He takes control. So it's a team game. I'm hitting all the shots. He's putting. We're gonna try and like put a real number on it. A real number. Try and break 75 or something like that.
Yeah, I think we'll have good energy, good vibes.
Yeah, we'll do it.
All right. I was trying to find out because it's 4th of July week, and I was trying to look up. I know golf in the United States didn't really come over here until 120 years ago or so, but I wasn't sure if any of the founding fathers played any golf, because all the presidents now all play golf, and it's been like a whole thing. I looked it up. The first president ever known to have really played golf was 1909 to 1913 President William Taft. And I looked it up through the whole deal. I was trying to figure it out because, again, these guys had like gone to Europe. And I know like Ben Franklin wasn't like a president, but he is in the crowd and he had gone to Europe. So I wasn't sure if anybody come over and played. They hadn't. Earliest I could find was, again, William Taft, 1909.
Wasn't he fat?
He was a huge boy. He was a huge boy. But one of his lines, which was fantastic, was he goes, "I know there's nothing more democratic than golf. There's nothing which furnishes a greater test of character and self-restraint, nothing which puts one more on an equality with one's fellows, or I may say puts one's lower than one's fellows than the game of golf." So even from 115 years ago, he's putting out quotes being like, there's nothing that once you tee off equalizes everybody, and there's nothing that makes you feel like lesser than everyone else than the game of golf.
In one of my favorite movies, The Greatest Game Ever Played, Francis We Met, he looks back, and I think it's President Taft that was right at the country club watching that open, being like he like nods his head, and then Shia LaBeouf like gets super nervous standing over the ball, being like, the president's here. Like, I was living across the street, and now I'm fucking playing from the president. I think it's Taft, because I think that timing matches up.
And I think that was a big boy. And so I think that's the only guy that I can imagine. But
he was like the most obese president we had, right? He had to have been.
It was the guy who died in a bathtub, I think, was pretty fat too.
Him. That's him right there, fat fuck.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy.
Some frat president. Oh yeah, it was Taft. Someone. Yeah, I knew that was the story of some president getting stuck in a bathtub. It's a well-known myth. I don't know if it was actually true, but yeah, he was 5'11", 350 pounds. So that's pretty fat.
Whoa.
350 under 6 feet is fat.
A wrestler and dancer in his younger years, he stood 6 feet tall and weighed 340 pounds at the end of his presidency.
Holy moly. That's a big boy. But shout out to Taft, the first golfing president. All right. And then we've got a couple different segments to do. I would love to do closest to the pin. I don't want to miss Trent, because a couple of them involve the John Deere Classic. So I'm almost thinking we could include him because I don't know if we're all going to be on at the same time during this, because he's traveling.
Hopefully, I mean, he should be coming in pretty soon, I would assume.
I'll text him right now and see what his status is.
All right, see his status. We could do from the gallery. Before then, I got a good amount of from the galleries that we can go through. TaylorMade Golf, our great friends at TaylorMade, bring you from the gallery. They've got the new TP5, TP5X. You go to TaylorMadeGolf.com, check them out. Nobody does customization when it comes to golf balls better than TaylorMade. You can do my symbol. They've got all the cool ones that come out around the big events. Adirondack chairs they had a few weeks ago. I got some taco golf balls still left. The TP5X is now half a club longer than the last one. Rory raves about that. And then I found a couple little interesting tidbits. Jonathan Wall, who does a lot of the equipment stuff on Twitter, I know Dan's probably very familiar with him. He had a great tweet today where, he combs through the equipment. He puts what's in the bags out for pretty much every player every week, or every top player, any equipment change that they make during a week for a certain type of tournament. He's all over it. And he put out that Scotty Scheffler's driving accuracy percentage has gone up about 10% from 62% to about 72% in 1 year since he switched drivers to the new QI10 from TaylorMade. He said in his own mind, this is Jonathan Wall tweeting, he thought it might just be an aberration, but he went through and checked it out. Rory McIlroy up from 53% accuracy off the tee to 68%. Tommy Fleetwood up 62% to 76%. Colin Morikawa up 68% to 78% in accuracy year over year.
78%. Imagine hitting 78% of your fairways.
I know, how good is that on the PGA Tour and in these majors where it's about as narrow as you'll get playing anywhere. But he then, he puts a follow-up in front and says, the only common denominator here is that they all switched to the new QI10 from TaylorMade. So if you need to be convinced, obviously we love the golf ball, half a club longer. Some of the best players in the world are using that golf ball, and they're playing incredibly well. But the driver's no joke either with those stats.
And Jay Wall is not a TaylorMade guy. He's brand agnostic. So that's legit.
He has a brand agnostic. That's correct. All right. Our boy Foreplay Tracker, who gets a lot of love. He got a lot of love in our meeting with Fireball. I saw that he showed up, I believe, in Chicago. He was getting all kinds of love. He submitted a from the gallery question. He said, will kids in 40 years be playing golf with AI glasses that tell you yardage, slope, wind speed, recommended clubs, alignment tips, etc.? At what point can the game of golf not progress any further?
Yeah, I think the answer is yes with that. Like, I think I don't know about the alignment, but I think the Bushnells of the world, or, whoever these companies, Precision Pro, like, I think that they're all probably R&Ding that out. These like wearables. I mean, we've been the first Google Glass commercial was probably like 2009. So we thought that was coming pretty soon. But yeah, I think there is going to be a glasses that will have, I mean, I don't know if it was 2009, but it was a long time ago. And it never really took off. But I think there will be like wearables that have all of the rangefinder information in addition to like weather and wind patterns and stuff. That doesn't seem like that far off.
For sure. When we were at the was it the PGA that we saw that ridiculous wearable where in the putting, what was it, Putt View is coming out with it?
So cool.
So Putt View, I don't know if it was I think it is Putt View is coming out with this, like, or I think they have it out. And it's like a VR goggle headset that you look down and it shows you your path and it shows you where to roll the ball. And it actually will read the green for you. If you're out on an undulating green,
instantly,
it'll instantly read the green. It'll show you the topography of the green, the red parts, the green parts, just like a video game. And it will create a line in which, if you have the right pace, if you hit it on that line, it goes in the hole. So they already have it.
Set it like you could set the goggles for like 1 foot by pace, and as you're walking up, like the second you look to the green, it will just give you the line of the ball with all the beads and all the stuff, like a video game, like Frankie's saying, of the entire green.
Now, I think at this point they're $20,000 to $30,000, something like that. They're pretty inaccessible to the everyday golfer. I don't know that anyone's ever going to go onto a green wearing a goggle like headset. I mean, I think that would be a little outrageous. I hope sports don't get to that point, but you just know that technology is going to keep advancing. At some point, it's just going to become like the USGA is going to certify some sort of goggle wearable in the next 50 years for sure.
You know what's going to be big that I'm actually going to toy with later this week? I got a couple 3 days out here in Arizona if it's 110 degrees, but I'm going to go mess around on the driving range with some AI coaching, because there's a lot of
sports box
apps are trying to and different kind of training tools, technology companies, whatever, are essentially trying to get to the point, and they will get to the point. The guys at SWE that we work with are doing a really good job with it. I'm going to play with theirs, but like you in real time, you take a video of your swing on the range, you upload it into this AI coaching, and like very, very quickly or instantaneously, like as it gets quicker and quicker, you get direct feedback on what you're doing wrong, what you need to work on, drills, all that stuff from AI coaching while you upload the swing on the driving range.
Yeah, and that makes good information so much more accessible. Like that's because they're basically just giving you the information directly that a PGA professional would have to get and learn. It's kind of scary though. Like I saw today on Twitter, there was a Toys R Us did the first like AI commercial where like they put in like, oh, we want a sentimental commercial about a father and a son, blah, 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 and it was like unrecognizable from a commercial that people would spend all of this money and all these creative directors and all this camera crews. Like hopefully we're funny because humor is going to be like one of the only things that saves people from losing their jobs.
We might be out, Dan. You got to think that if these AI robots and AI creations can just do a better golf podcast than we can in not too long here, right? They're going to have all the information. They're going to have access to all of the information in history and just be able to like whip up a show, breaking stuff down, reacting. You just put in like, oh yeah, 11% of humor, like whatever they put in. I think they're just gonna be able to fucking do that. We're not gonna,
it's all coming.
Much
it's enjoyable while it lasts.
I mean, hopefully they don't nip little 54 degrees into Baritz's and shit. So, I mean, I think we'll be okay. Maybe people still watch YouTube videos, but yeah, it's crazy, man. I've been using AI a lot. I used it for this logo, like this little pink pickleball guy.
Just
I've been
typed
using
in
it
like pickleball logo.
I typed in like circular pickleball man that emulates like the Mr. Met, and then it was like the colors that I wanted, holding a pickleball paddle with a Barstool logo. It's crazy. Now I will say we needed our designers at Barstool, who are amazing at what they do, to be able to like make it look like a realistic logo. Like it was all over the place. He had like 9 fingers, he had all this.
But you won't forever. That's
I know,
only gonna get
like,
better.
And I'm
better.
sure, you know what? I'm sure the designers that like we have, like, will use it to their advantage also. Like it gets you to a place that you want to start, maybe like a starting place right now, but there's always going to be a place for creativity. The human brain will never be able to be replicated. AI will definitely be more efficient for sure, but there's always going to be those things where it's like, I don't know. I like to think that you can't emulate it perfectly.
I hope you're right. I think you're right. But yeah, AI is going to be huge for golf. Golf's such an analytical game when you really come down to it. The swing, the technique, the mechanics, the information that you need, thinking your way through a course. Like we basically went through what AI would do with Harry Higgs a few years ago. And we made that video, Frankie, where he was moving the field goals or where we should actually be treating the field goals, and how actually just aiming at the middle of the green all the time is a terrible strategy. That like, because your dispersion cone will bring in stuff that you could totally not bring in if you just move your aiming point to this side. Like AI is going to be able to affect golf dramatically, so it'll actually be kind of fun. It can make people, in theory, it'll make people way better. So hopefully we get to that point. Drew says, do you think we'll ever get away from calling the irons by a number? 9 iron, 8 iron, 7 iron. It drives me nuts. And we talk about someone hitting a 9 iron when in the back of my head, I'd rather know just the loft number. Said, I recently bought new clubs. My old set, the pitching wedge was 48.5 degrees. My new set, the pitching wedge is 42 degrees. Clearly, those are going to go different distances. We've started to do that with wedges. Obviously, people call it the 60, 56, 52. We hear it all the time about Bryson's clubs. He's hitting an 8 iron from here, but really his 8 iron is bent to like a 5 iron. So essentially, should we ever get to the point where we're not calling clubs by just the traditional number?
Well, I hope it's not just like the loft and it's more the Bryson. Did you guys see the graphic of what Bryson calls all of his clubs?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you guys didn't see this?
All the names?
Yeah, he called one of them.
That was back in the day, though, right? He was saying.
I don't know, but there was one. Jackie Robinson was named. He named one of his clubs Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Wow.
That because I saw him go on one of the shows. It was like right after he won. Fantastic. I think it was on like, I forget which show he was on, but he said that that was his old set, like before he worked with this new company.
Yep. Yeah, so this was 2021. You're right. So in 2021, his 3 iron was Gamma because it's the third letter of the Greek alphabet. His 5 iron was Azalea, favorite par 5 at Augusta National. 6 iron Juniper, another Augusta one, and then the 9 iron. The 9 iron.
Tim Tucker, I don't know at the time, like hand me Juniper.
Yeah.
I don't. The 9 iron was Jackie because it's 42 degrees, referencing number 42, the first uniform number to be retired across Major League Baseball, while honoring Jackie Robinson.
It's insane.
What a guy, dude. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean,
that's insane.
I don't know what to think about that. You know, that's a little. Yeah. There's no way he called him though, right?
I don't know.
Right? Like, I don't know. That's wild. I do think it's kind of annoying now, like when they're like, "Oh, Bryson has an 8 iron in here." You're like, "Well, it's the same degree as someone else's like 6 iron." So I do think that part of it's a little annoying. I've always wondered though, does that mean like if all of his clubs are turned down, Dan, does he have like no club that's bent 38 degrees, like whatever an 8 iron would be?
I think he's just, because he swings it so fast, he doesn't need as much loft, right? Like, so I think all of his clubs are just lower lofted. But I think when it says 8 iron, yeah, it's bent to a 6 iron, but he still has clubs. He still has a 6 iron. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's just.
Yeah, but then that's bent. No, but then that's bent to like a 4 iron. I understand. I think I understand that. What I understand is like, then is his highest lofted club like 45 degrees?
No, he has a 60 degree. He has.
So that's what I mean. Where does that gap like get made up?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
That's what I would be curious about, because like if everyone's like, oh yeah, his wedge is actually like bent like someone else's 7 iron, then you're like, okay, well he's running out of areas, and he's
this was 2 years ago, but he had 58 degree, 53 degree sandwich. Then it starts up. His gap wedge is 47 degree, which is like a pitching wedge. His pitching wedge was 40 degrees.
Oh,
so
wow,
it starts, his 8-iron was 30 degrees, 210 miles per hour. Yeah.
8-iron,
crazy.
30 degrees.
6-iron, 22, which is like a 4 hybrid. 5-iron, 19 degrees, which is like a 5 wood, basically. 4-iron, 16 degrees. That's a 3 wood. And he hits at 264, according to this graphic I'm looking at.
Yeah, I was just looking like a traditional 6-iron is like 25 to 30 degrees or something. And his 8-iron was like 30 degrees. So that's a little bit like, all right. Interesting. But yeah, isn't his driver like 4 degrees?
6 degrees. Yeah. And he hits it sky high. Sky high.
That's fucking unbelievable. Jesus. Anthony says, what's the rule for how many times someone could play a course before a major? What is to stop? And in this instance, he says Tiger, but I don't think Tiger's a great example because it's probably stamina that's going to stop Tiger. But what's to stop Tiger from spending a few weeks at Royal Troon, learning the course inside and out? Would it even make a difference for our guy Tiger? But I did think that was a good question. Like, if you're Scotty right now and you really wanted to, and he's not playing again until the Open, could he just go over there and just scout and work on the golf course for 3 weeks straight?
There's got to be no rule, right? There can't be.
Yeah, there's no rule, but I think there's a law of diminishing returns. Like, I think these guys are so good at learning golf courses in 3 days that at a certain point, it's too much information, right? Like, if you're so good that you're not going to be hitting it, if you're not hitting it 30 yards offline, what the fuck does it matter?
I don't know. If you give Scotty Scheffler 30 rounds at a golf course, he's going to just be better at the end of that. There's no way. Then if he had 0,
I think, dude.
I think I definitely than 0, but way better than 3. You think?
Yeah. He'll putt every single putt. He'll know every break. He wouldn't miss a shot.
I don't know. I think they're so efficient and they're so good at learning golf courses that it would probably be better, but I don't know if it would be worth all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it doesn't guarantee you that you're not going to hit bad shots.
Trent Ryan has joined us.
Hello, gentlemen.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm in Wisconsin. How are you guys?
We're doing really nice. We're doing really nice.
Good. That's good. Are we recording? What episode is this? Is this for 4th of July?
4th of July.
Very nice.
Uh-huh.
So this will be...
Yeah, you got any takes?
Any takes on America?
I love America. I think it's the greatest country to ever exist.
There we go, baby. Can we throw some music behind that?
This country that we live in is the greatest country to ever exist. It is a melting pot. It is a land of opportunity. People come here for a better life, and they work their asses off, and they get it.
Fuck yeah.
Were you guys shit talking America before I get in here? Why am I the one saying motivational shit?
We actually didn't say anything about it, but I echo those words.
Fantastic.
Same. Mm-hmm. We did talk about William Taft. He was the first president that really played golf. Big old boy. He was.
This is way in the past now that this is 4th of July, but I just got to Wisconsin for the Barstool Classic, and we are in Delafield, and we are in just a beautiful little hotel. I don't know. We didn't stay here last year. Last year, Frankie, if you remember, we stayed in a haunted building.
Yep.
And you would walk in, this was last year, it was take your own key.
Take your own key and just walk into any room. There was nothing of structure there. It was a haunted mansion that they said just go through the front door, grab a key out of the box and find what room it was. And I remember walking into this room being like, clearly someone else could have gotten to this room before I'm about to open this door and I'm going to get murdered in here. Or what's stopping someone at 3:00 in the morning from just opening up this door with whatever? Because the keys just opened up all the doors, apparently. You know what I mean? It was just chaos.
I felt a presence when I went into my room. And the whole thing was just tough. So this time around, we're at this place called the Delafield Hotel, which if you look at Delafield on a map, it looks like it's nothing. It's like 45 minutes from the Milwaukee airport.
You got some beautiful wainscoting behind you. Is that what that's called? Wainscoting?
Wainscoting?
Wainscoting? I never know how to pronounce it.
I don't know what those words
are.
I'm
not sure.
It's either wainscoting or wainscoting, but that is what we see behind Trent, that white trim on that wall.
Square kind of stuff there?
Correct.
All right, we get it. You guys own houses. But when I got to Delafield, there's really nothing... but then you get here and it's beautiful. It's like a quaint little American town.
That's nice. There's something special about Wisconsin. There really is. You got some cheese curds coming in your future, you think, Trent?
I think so, because I'm here. Francis Ellis is also here. We flew together. We rode the Uber together. You know, when you fly with someone, it's like I love Francis, and I would feel the same way about any of you guys. I don't want to sit next to you on a flight.
No.
Yeah.
But he was good about it. I thought it was going to be a full 2 hours of conversation. About 20 minutes in, we both put our headphones on and did our own thing. But there is like this pressure to talk to someone if you know them when you're sitting next to them. But anyway, he's here as well, and we usually get into some pretty naughty things food-wise.
I sat in front of him on a flight recently, and I was looking on my phone, and he actually tapped me on the shoulder. And I took my headphones off. I said, "What's up?" He goes, "That looks awesome." Like it was like it was food or something. And I was like, I know.
He's just watching you watch your phone.
It was fine. But yeah, I think we're probably getting to some cheese curds. Wisconsin is obviously a great cheese state, so we'll give something a try.
I think we're all beyond the point of being like we don't feel like we need to talk if we don't want to talk. We can just right. We've been through enough with the flights and the bullshit, and it's like
true, but there's still that pressure.
Yeah.
There's just a little bit where it's like, all right, should we talk? Especially with Francis, because I'd never done that with him before, and it just felt like he was going to be a guy where he was like, let's talk for 2 hours straight. Yeah. But he was good about it. He at one point we were like, let's put our headphones on. He was like, absolutely, bang, and we were done.
Did you guys say let's put our headphones on?
No, I don't know how it came about exactly, but it was one of those where it was like, we're just going to put our headphones on. It's going to be fun.
Okay,
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do a little closest to the pin action, Trent Daddy.
Woo!
And
great.
We really didn't want to do it without you because there's a couple John Deere Classic questions on here, and the John Deere Classic is this week.
That's very honorable of you guys because I'm beating your guys' brains in, and you guys could have easily cut me out of this. So I appreciate it.
I thought about that, but you can't do the John Deere without you.
Thank you.
You just can't.
All right, this episode was recorded last week, so I'm just going to update you quick on closest to pin standings and the answers from last week before you get back to the guys closest to pin for this week. Finishing position for Tom Kim at Rocket Mortgage was the first question. He missed the cut, so Riggs and I at sixth win that. Dan had first, so he was nowhere near. Spotify listens for Taylor Swift's first surprise song at Eras Tour, Dublin Night 2. At the Albatross was the song. At the time of the song, 72,741,350 listens. So Riggs with the lowest one there. We both were way out. Dan and I were both way off. Riggs had 325 mil. He takes that. Finished for Lando Norris at Austrian Grand Prix. He got in a crash, I believe, with Max Verstappen. Some issue. I kind of missed it, but he finished 20th, dead last, which is surprising, shocking for him. So Riggs had fourth. We both had third, so he takes that one. Last one was total home runs in the MLB on Saturday. There were 38, and Riggs Barstool guessed 39, so he was the closest there. And the updated standings through this week, we have Trent destroying everyone with 41 points. I'm in second with 30, then Riggs with 29, Dan with 28, and Frankie with 27. Now here's close to the pin for this week. Have a happy 4th of July.
All right. Closest to the pin. Everybody ready for the new one?
Yes, sir.
First one is I was trying to think of something. I wanted to just come up with like, you got to guess something. So I was going to try to have people guess how many names are on the Declaration of Independence, but I thought that might be something people kind of actually knew or learned. So what I came up with was...
You guys have any idea how many of it?
Everybody be cool so we don't have to guess. Everybody be cool.
Okay. John Hancock.
I think the one that I came up with is way harder. What was the global population on July 4th, 1776?
God damn, man.
I have no clue.
Fucking morons.
Didn't look it up. I have no idea.
We got to do a whole number.
So today's is 8.1 billion. I did look.
They didn't even know this number. There was no way of knowing. But I guess
it's just a model. It's just a model.
I don't even know how we're gonna have to just. Well, Bush gets to choose which source he relies on, which is kind of bullshit. But
I hope the number
throw a
exists.
number in here, and if I get made fun of, I get made fun of.
Yeah, I don't
it's one of those.
What is it now? 8 point.
I screwed that up.
Dan,
I screwed the whole thing up. Just disregard that.
I put a number in there, and it just is what it is.
I'm way off, man. I got to be way off, man. 30,000.
Right.
No one's close to each other.
No one's close to each other?
Not
That's
really.
Great. It's a great question. What was
There's
the
one
population in
that's-
1776?
So, population in 1776 of the world. Trent Ryan, 1.2 billion.
Wow.
Dan,
Pretty close.
2.5 and change billion. Riggs, 400 million. Alex, 1.9 billion. Frankie, 900
I think
million.
those are all pretty solid.
Okay.
It's a lot of people. And I feel like there was not a lot going on, but I feel like there's a lot of people still.
It is like we did have to get to 8.1 billion, so there had to be a lot of people. Like that wasn't that long ago.
I remember
No.
6 billion was the number when I was a kid, so it's moving.
Yeah, it is moving.
I'm curious.
Wait, we're not looking, are we? Or are we?
No, because we want people to be
No.
able to guess.
Okay.
All right.
No.
The Copa America is going on. That is the, what is it? North and South American kind of
It used to be just South, but they started inviting the North
basically our version of the UEFA, the Euro
of the Euros. Yep.
of the Euros, like national soccer tournament. Does Argentina? It's Argentina, Brazil. They kind of win it every time. I have to.
Yeah,
assume.
Uruguay is really good, and Colombia also.
All right. The quarterfinal game. We don't know who's going to be in that yet because we're recording a week early. But the quarterfinal game is at 6 p.m. on the 4th of July in Houston. What will the total number of goals be in that game?
Houston on July 4th sounds hot.
What a run Adam Sandler went on in like the early 2000s. Was it the early 2000s?
Maybe late
Probably late
90s
90s.
even.
Late
Yeah,
90s.
Billy Madison.
Happy Gilmore. There's one
Big
we're
Daddy.
missing.
All right.
Big Daddy. That's what I was trying to think.
Big Daddy's iconic.
All right, we're all in. Frankie, 3. Dan, 3. Trent, 5. Alex, 4. Riggs, 5.
Yeah, squash. I can't catch up. Now we're on to the John Deere Classic questions. How much money will Jordan Spieth earn at the John Deere Classic?
Oh yeah, he's playing for the first time in a long time. I saw that's big news. I'm going to make my Iowa debut, by the way, at the Classic.
I heard.
The
I saw
Barstool
that in the
Classic.
text group. That's going to be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Also, Patrick Cantley playing in the almost at the Barstool Classic in the John Deere Classic.
I bet you might be
Yeah.
able to get Joe LaCava to play in the Barstool
Yeah.
Classic.
He's slowly becoming like a John Deere guy. He's got like DeWalt all over his shit.
Mhm.
Those are like the power tools, right?
Yeah. No power tools. Step Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Dale, no power tools.
All right. So, how much is Jordan Spieth going to win at the John Deere Classic?
Wow. Okay. What's the purse?
It is first place is 1.49 million. The purse is 8.3 million.
Oye, como a meritmo.
All right. Dan Rappaport, 325K.
Oh,
Riggs, 185K. Frankie, 400K. Alex, 197K. And Trent, 600,000.
all right.
Wow.
Hopefully,
Okay.
he tries it.
Trent, you're thinking like a
So-
solo third.
I think he's going to do well.
Yeah.
Will not
Two-time
win,
champ.
though.
He loves that tournament.
Two-timer. I know the one from the bunker. I didn't know he won another time there too. That's nice. Last one. I wanted to do what will the total attendance be at the 2024 John Deere Classic, but turns out they don't release the attendance numbers. I went through, tried to find it. So what we're going to go with is final round TV viewers for the John Deere Classic. The best I could find was from 2022. It said CBS drew 1.91 million viewers for the final round of the John Deere Classic, which was the PGA Tour event's best Sunday figure since 15 for that tournament when Jordan Spieth won in a playoff, which reached 3.38 million.
Who won it that year? That was so box office.
2022 was JT Poston who won Wire to Wire. I don't know why it was so box office, but
Yeah,
it was.
why?
I can't figure that out either.
So what's the question again?
What
Welcome back.
what will the TV viewer number? How many TV viewers in the final round of the John Deere Classic? Trying to catch Trent being a homer, hopefully, but
Can we do a bonus question? How many signatures are on that damn Declaration of Independence?
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
curious
I-
now.
mhm.
I've been
Let's
thinking
do
about
it.
it for a long time.
Let's
Trying to
do
think
it.
like it was like the colonies, but then there had to have been more people on that thing.
I don't even have
more.
a ballpark guess.
How many do you think, Frank? I'll look it up.
I mean,
We'll
should
get
we
to
add
it.
it? Should we add it? Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Add it.
Yeah.
Add it. How many names signed the Declaration of Independence?
It's got to be. All right, go ahead. Wait.
All right, let's do the TV one first. Okay.
Oh yeah, we haven't done the TV one, but I'm sending it in anyway.
All right.
I mean, I don't.
TV viewers, final round of
it's gonna
John
be the
Deere
same number.
Classic. Frankie 900,000. Dan 975,000.
Damn it.
Riggs 1.2 mil. Alex 1.8 mil. Trent 2.1 million.
I need speed in that final group.
Yeah,
I need
yeah,
that
you
final
do.
group bad.
Yeah, you do. Just recreate that bunker shot, Spieth. You know.
I'm gonna throw a number at you. How many signatures?
I put my number in.
I texted
Wait, weren't?
I was gonna say I almost think this one we should find out on the show.
Let's find
That's
out.
fine.
Yeah, just do it separate.
Look around and find out.
I'll look it up right now.
There was 13 colonies? Is that what it was?
I thought it was one for
We
each
gotta stop
column.
asking questions because I don't.
But then
know
there
the
had to
answers.
have been more people. There had to have been more people.
Oh boy.
There definitely
All
were
right.
because there's like fucking they're just I think they're just were they're guys that were just around.
I said 19.
right,
You know, I
So
said
yeah,
19.
Dan said 88. Riggs said 21. Trent said 27. Frankie said 19. I said 13. I don't know why I thought there was one
Bro,
for
if
each.
there's
just think
88
there
people on
were-
that piece of paper, I'll lose my
Right, because that
mind.
John Hancock
There-
signature was like a third of the whole paper.
But they went around it if I remember
If there's
correctly.
88, then it's not as special as I thought it was.
Yeah.
So there's actually
How many?
56.
holy
off.
shit!
Way more than I thought. Double what I thought.
So
No, that was
Trent?
just like, hey, everyone sign this
No.
paper because it's going to be famous one day. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry signed that thing.
32 off.
You got
So Trent would win that.
There's probably only a fucking 100,000 people in the world back then.
We're about to find out.
100,000 people. Look at this paper. Wow, there's a lot of names on there.
Damn it. I said 19. Fuck.
I said 21. I thought I was right.
Trent even wins the ones that don't count.
Yeah, I won that.
I know. Fuck.
And also have a great 4th of July. You know? Stay safe.
Mm-hmm. Safety first, especially if you're firing off fireworks. Those things always make you scared.
Fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Just go to the professional ones. I mean, I know it sounds like a fucking old grandpa bullshit thing to say, but man, too many mistakes happen with these damn fireworks. Whenever I've been around fireworks, I stay very far away from them.
Oh, well,
Very
I
far.
I had a, not even as a kid. Like as a kid, we were really into them.
Same.
We were really into them also, but New York, they've always been pretty illegal. You'd have to like bring them in from like,
Oh yeah, we used to
Pennsylvania.
have to drive across the Missouri border. Riggs'
Right.
great home state, and they're smart. The fireworks people are smart. They have them huge setups of fireworks.
warehouses.
Giant tent. Oh my God.
Me and my buddy
Word.
Mike, shout out to Mike, we would go across the border, buy as much as we could, and then 4th of July would be it'd be lit.
We had
We
those
had,
things.
like,
I
that
mean, we
one
had
friend
more
that would
fireworks
do 'em,
stands
but-
than we did like grocery stores. We had fireworks
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
everywhere in Missouri.
Pennsylvania's like that. I think Virginia's
Yeah.
like that. But like we would have that one friend that we'd always like. He would always have it. But I didn't fuck around with it. I didn't want to go home with like a hand torn off and like my mom yell at me. So I was always a little
JPP, man,
bitch.
that was devastating.
Oh yeah,
That was bad.
goalie for the
Terrible.
Columbus Blue Jackets died. He was like 22
That's
years old.
really
It was
bad.
a couple years ago.
Oh,
Firework
right in the
right in
chest.
the chest.
Yep, in his jacuzzi.
they're very dangerous, man.
That is a horrendous way to go out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Starting goaltender for the fucking Columbus Blue Jackets.
So everybody be safe. All right. Be
Yeah,
safe.
be
4th
safe.
of July. Have a great
Yep.
time. Enjoy all the festivities, all the celebrations, all the pageantry of it. Just be safe for us. We'll be back next week, as we always are. We'll be getting close to the Open Championship, and we'll be rolling right into a bunch of links golf stuff, which is great. Frankie's such a course architect guy now. He'll be able to tell you about all the holes out there and hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.